Good morning. Hello everybody. I'm just popping on. Just this morning I've turned my chair around so you can see more of the view that I get when I'm sitting here. This is Sue. For those of you that don't know, I'm the founder and creator of Chisong. And every now and again I'll pop on here just to share some of my thoughts, some of what's happening. So I'm hoping, against hope, the builders don't start. Because those of you that know me know that I've recently moved house and I'm still living on a building site a little bit. But so far so good. They've usually started by now. So here's hoping. And it chucked it down overnight, absolutely poured it down. But I love just sitting here in the morning after it's rained. The smell, the feel of the place, it just feels like everything's just had a wash and it's all cleansed and new and shiny again, and it's beautiful. And look at that sky, it's brilliant. So I just thought I'd come on here and share anyway, just how amazed I always get at the universe, funnily enough, just how the universe kind of lines things up for you to be able to look at, focus in on, get some perspective on, and how, I call them mirrors. Other people call them mirrors as well. It's not just me personally, but, these mirrors that the universe provides, and you think, oh, maybe I need to look at that. There's been 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or a few things that have happened that maybe that's just telling me I need to look at that. So over the weekend I had a few of those moments. Some were in teeny tiny small bits, some quite raw, some quite painful, where I felt really activated. Nothing major, but just enough to make me pause and go, I'm being shown a mirror here. There's something I need to look at. It's not always a pretty one, but it's one that I've learned to really, really trust, and one that I can't ignore. Not overanalyzing it and not going into real depths of it, just enough where I can go, that's what's happening. Nah. And like I say, it took 5 or 6 times for the universe to show me this in a mirror. But eventually, I'm like, I need to stay curious with this. Because when I start to feel that little bit of a crack, the universe always does give me something. And it's amazing that since I've given up sugar and flour, which was my big addiction, and since I've lost all the weight, and since I've started to do all of the energy work, the astrology work, the Qigong movement, the breath work, really focusing on the breath work. I've done breath work for 40 years, but really focusing on the breath work. It's really allowed me to see me more clearly, to know when my feelings are off, to know when things aren't quite sitting right. And then without any judgment, criticism or anything, just go, what's happening, Sue? Yeah. Just to feel it, instead of reacting, or instead of pushing it down with the drink or with food or whatever, just feel it. So yes, that brings me now to this little story that I've had a couple of stories, but this one is a real favourite of mine. So, if a man is crossing a river and an empty boat collides with his own boat, even if he's a bad-tempered man, he won't get angry. because the boat's empty. But if he sees somebody in the boat, he'll start shouting. And if they don't respond, he'll shout even more and get louder and louder and louder, and eventually curse and swear. And who knows where it's going to end up, because there's somebody in the boat. But if it were to stay empty, he'd stay calm and probably just laugh and shrug it off and just push the boat away. Now, Huang Chi, and look it up. I'm going to post the script of this on Facebook afterwards. But Huang Chi, I think his name is Huang Chu. Depends who you are and where you are. Ancient philosopher along the lines of Lao Tzu, said over 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago he said this, and I'm still here, still learning from it, still Sue in her back garden, learning what needs to be learned from it, taking those opportunities to grow. Yeah. If I think about how often I've reacted, not to what happened, but the story I tell inwardly about what happened, the meaning I gave it, the meaning I assigned to the other person or even to myself. If I think about that and turn it around, mirror it. What if that boat was empty that I was reacting to? What if that look or that message or that silence had absolutely nothing to do with me? That it had everything to do with the person, place, thing. There's an old saying in 12-step work, people, places and things. And me and a really good close friend were always going, it's them people, places and things again. Because it's always them, always them. But what if it had nothing to do with me? What if somebody else was reacting because their mirror was up? What if they wanted me to fit into their story? What if they wanted what I was doing wasn't quite fitting into their story, so they needed to try and change it? What if this had absolutely nothing to do with any of that and they were just having a really, really awful day? Things might not be just exactly as they seem. Yeah. So my Qigong practice invites me to soften. It invites me to come back to my breath, to drop below all that chatter and the reaction and the instantaneous stuff, and just take a breath. And let stillness answer instead of that old fight, flight, survival script. Because sometimes that boat that bumps into you is empty. Sometimes I can be the one bumping into others in my own fog, in my own reactivity. So in this space, I'm offering you no fixes, no lessons, just a question. When was the last time you reacted and it turned out the boat was empty? Or maybe when were you that empty boat and somebody else reacted to you? Let's just breathe with it, move with it, not to erase it, but to release what doesn't belong to us. Because stillness isn't passivity. Stillness is power. So, thank you for listening. And if this has stirred something and you've been able to stick with it for nearly 10 minutes, share it on here. If you'd like more content, more access like this, more access to all the amazing stuff that is coming down the pike, as soon as I've got it all sorted and it's all in place, which is going on in the background right now, join my email list. at chesongsoundenergy@gmail.com, and I'll add you to the list, and you'll get early access to everything that's happening. Or you can just sit with it, because we're all crossing this river together in our boats. So have a beautiful day. And remember, all is fundamentally well. And I will come back and speak to you soon. Take care.